Let me see one more wheelie. You're an amazing rider. Look at this guy. What's your name? You're famous. A hell of a view, middle of nowhere road on the way up to St. Nicholas Abbey in Barbados. And got all these pretty cows here. Damn, this is an adventure getting up to this place. Holy shit. Good morning, bright, sunny morning in Barbados. We're about to dock in Barbados here. And excited to be here. I've never been to this country. You know, I love visiting new countries. I think this is country 77 for me. I gotta check my math on that one, but I believe I'm at 77 now today in Barbados once we get out there. This was also a British colony for more than 300 years. It was established as a colony, I believe, in 1627, so that's 4 years after they established St. Kitts as a colony. They came over here, down south a little bit, and it became independent in 1966. Those are two important dates, but of course, you might know Barbados, famous for a lot of different things. Mount Gay rum being one of them. One of the oldest rum distilleries in the world. I believe it was established in 1703, so there's some dates for you, little stats too. How big is this country? It's a little less than 300,000 in population, so it dwarfs St. Kitts. I think St. Kitts is the 9th smallest country in the world in terms of population, with like 50,000 or so. This one has 281,000, something like that. I think that was the last census. So not a huge country, but much more developed than St. Kitts, for example, and some other smaller Caribbean islands. St. Lucia is also smaller too. So we're gonna see and check out this island today and see what kind of fun we can have. Let's go. Outside the port here in Bridgetown, Barbados, you see this scrum of people behind me. Boy, a lot of people with signs calling for different people. I was hoping to walk outside this big gate after a long ass walk from the port and see my name somewhere, but no such luck. I rushed to be here on time. Car rental place, not here. And I do hope they come. Probably they will. I hope they will. I already paid, I think, for this, I believe. But they're clearly running on Bayesian time, which I understand. But I'm super into punctuality. I know not many other people are in the Caribbean. So let's see whether I get a car today or not, what happens. Breakfast in Barbados, and at a little place called Surfers Cafe that looks really good. I've seen it actually on YouTube. I know it must be good, right? So let's check this place out. I'm hungry. All right, so I ordered the 2 scrambled eggs, fried plantains, fish cakes, and potatoes. Looking forward to it. Let's see what it looks like. Check this table out if you're lucky enough to score this one. Private little booth here with a view of the water. Pretty sweet. That looks like mine, thank you. Oh, this looks delicious.
I'm getting you guys some more water. You guys want some more water? Yes, please.
Look at that Barbadian breakfast. Barbadian breakfast. This looks absolutely delicious. We got the fish cakes. We got the plantains. We got eggs, toast. Pretty sweet setup. It's an absolutely delicious breakfast. Look at the view, James. I got my cameraman James helping me here. Can you see, James, the view?
Yeah.
And also the food. So I'm gonna try these fish cakes. I've never had these before. It's a cool breakfast food. There's sort of a, looks like maybe a Dijon mustard sort of sauce. I'm not sure.
Honey mustard.
Honey mustard?
Yeah.
Super spongy and salty. What sort of sauce is this for the fish cakes?
It's for ketchup, mayonnaise, and
Ketchup and mayonnaise?
Yeah, ketchup, mayonnaise, and baby pepper.
And pepper. Thank you.
Okay, it's forward.
Delicious.
Are you getting them for
Can you see that, James?
Yeah.
Fish cakes? Also got some plantains here. Eggs are very fresh too, so good. This is one of the nicest tables. I'm glad I noticed we were sitting inside, and I noticed people vacated this table. One of the nicest tables to get the view of the sea. You also got the privacy here. We have our own little booth created by these two walls. The sauce, she told us, this secret sauce also has red pepper. And what'd you say, James? Rosemary, I think. Rosemary and red pepper. Very tangy and good. It's super good on the plantains and also on the fish cakes. The fish cakes are really unusual and delicious. This is super breakfast. This is the fish cake right here. These are absolutely delicious. So, in summary, Surfers Cafe, breakfast in Barbados. By the way, I mean, this is a real busy island, busy small island. It was colonized by the British 1627. Got their independence in, what year was it, James? 1966? I think it was the 1960s. I'll correct myself in the video if I'm wrong, but population 280,000 people. Pretty flat, known for their Mount Gay rum. This Surfers Cafe, I think this is a great place to have breakfast. I'm giving them points for the fact that they're still serving breakfast at noon. I love that. I'm giving them points for the fish cakes and the plantains, which were excellent. The eggs were very, very fresh. I'm deducting a few points for this bread because it is wheat, which I like, but it's sort of like the equivalent of Wonder Bread, and it tastes a little bit stale, so I'm taking off, I would say, probably a point for this bad bread. I'm also taking off maybe half a point for the slow service, although it is the Caribbean. But we waited how long, James? Like half hour or so, right?
Yeah.
Service was a little bit slow, but the food was generally excellent. So I am going to give them a very solid 9.1, which is an excellent score. And I'm also adding in points for this ambiance. We jumped over here and took this amazing table. So I'm saying 9.1 overall. Excellent breakfast here in Barbados. This bird's thinking about poaching the remains of our breakfast. Go ahead and take that toast. It's a little bit stale, but you'll like it. You're a bird. So now we're getting outside Bridgetown, getting out into the Bayesian countryside. Nice out here, huh? Oh, big puffy clouds. So they drive on the left here in Barbados since it's a former British colony. Something that takes a little getting used to if you're not used to it, and the lanes are a little bit narrow. This road's actually pretty good. We did have some potholes before. We did have a hubcap fall off too, right, Leo?
Yeah.
Luckily, Leo got most of it. Part of our hubcap was zip tied to the rental car. Part of our hubcap was zip tied to the vehicle, so that remained. But like, you got what, like 80% of it, Leo?
Yeah.
Off the road or so. And they were also a half hour late to meet us this morning, which apparently we're told, according to Bayesian time, if you're a half hour late, you're good. You're still on time. So I guess that's not too bad. Going through a little sort of canopy of trees here. Man, this road is super bumpy. Heading over to Codrington College, which is supposed to have one of the best vantage points in the whole island. Cool. We're going down this steep road here above the seaside, hoping to find Codrington College, which is supposed to have amazing views. We just found the Codrington School. I don't know what the heck that is. Maybe it's their sister school for like younger kids. Wow, this road is super steep.
Turn left
And over
toward
and show the
Codrington
sea, Leo.
College, then turn right onto Codrington College.
All right. Good job, thank you.
Codrington College. Head northwest. In 200 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Okay, stop. Codrington College in Barbados. Damn, what a view, huh? It's a little difficult finding this place. A lot of very bumpy roads to get here, but I saw this place on YouTube. I'm like, look at these trees. I want to come see these amazing palm trees. So here we are, going to take a look around this beautiful place. Let's go. Look at this guy popping wheelies. Izzy, you're a good rider. You're a real good rider. Look at that. What a beautiful college. So this is Codrington College. It is the oldest seminary in the Caribbean, established in 1745. They currently have 16 seminarians who are learning to become Anglican priests. Let me see one more wheelie. You're an amazing rider. Look at this guy. What's your name? You're famous. So they got 16 seminarians right now at the moment from all over the Caribbean. They're not here at the moment because they went home to celebrate Christmas with their families, but I'm gonna take a look around this place. It's got a beautiful view. It's a cheap entrance fee too. It's 10 Bayesian dollars for the three of us, which is 5 US. So I think we're gonna have some epic sea views over here on the other side. This is sort of a hidden tourist attraction in Barbados. This just talks about the history of the college, built between 1714 and 1743. Wow. Devastated by an 1831 hurricane, rebuilt in 1833. Boy, these are solid pillars here. This is not chintzy construction. They're training to be Anglican priests here. Only 16 of them, not too much for a large grand college like this. And wow, look at the view they've got back here. And I guess this is where the seminarians, when they need a break from their studies, come out to enjoy this Buena Vista. Really nice. Little correction here about Codrington College. I said it was the oldest theological institution in the Caribbean. Actually the oldest theological institution in the Western Hemisphere. So even more impressive. Look at this place, fantastic. So local just told me this place is called Cattle Wash Beach because there used to be a lot of farms up here and people would bring their cows down to wash them and give them a bath down here on the beach. So Barbados is Cattle Wash Beach. I like it, cool name. Pretty cool old dilapidated windmill here, the country road in Barbados. A hell of a view, middle of nowhere road on the way up to St. Nicholas Abbey in Barbados. And got all these pretty cows here, beautiful cows. My wife would call them real natural cows. She loves this type of cow. And you got the sea down there. You've got like an old dilapidated windmill, some farms, just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Damn, this is an adventure getting up to this place. Holy shit. That's a good way to think. All the way up these hills, up and down. I mean, like an hour ride out into the countryside on like potholed roads, up and down, and like roads about like as narrow to fit 2 cars if they're both greased with butter for about an hour. And guess what? St. Nicholas Abbey is closed apparently for the holiday today, which I did not know. That sucks, but at least we're getting a spectacular view of Barbados. Wow, and another dilapidated scenic road here in Barbados. Wow, what an adventure getting around here. Nice little spot here on Orleans Bay. It's a nice beach right here. Orleans Bay. Very pretty beach here with some nice trees. Natural setting. It's a narrow beach though, not a big broad one, it's a little one. I mean, it's long, but it's narrow and skinny.
Some monkeys on the golf course.
At the George Washington House in Bridgetown, Barbados this morning. This is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site complex here. Very, very interesting place. So this house dates to the 18th century. George Washington, why is it called the George Washington House? George Washington, our first president, only trip outside of the US was to Barbados, exactly, and it was when he was 19 years old. His older half-brother Lawrence had tuberculosis, which what they call consumption back in those days. And his doctors thought, hey, the best way to convalesce is in a tropical location. Cleaner air, warm temperatures, you'll love it. I swear you'll get better. He didn't end up getting better here. But they did stay here for a few months, and it was, as I said, it was, he was only 19 years old at the time. He was a land surveyor, wasn't sure what he was going to be in life, but he decided to take this perilous sea journey, which took several weeks to get out here to Barbados in the hopes of saving his brother's life. Ultimately, it did not work. We're going to take a look around this place and check it out. Beautiful house. Let's take a look in. This place is not cheap to go into, I'll tell you right now. It's $20 US per person, so for a family of 4, 80 bucks. Not cheap, that's for sure, but let's see, hopefully it'll be worth it.
To subject their child to such a journey. So Lawrence turned to his younger half-brother, George. Summer was at an end, and George, with surveying contracts drying up for the winter, agreed to go with his brother and help get him settled. While Lawrence was quite the experienced traveler, George had only stepped outside of Virginia once or twice in his life. Travel to a new overseas territory would have seemed an adventure. So in late September in 1751, the Washington brothers boarded a vessel in the Potomac River and began what would be a non-stop 6-week journey to
6 weeks?
First traveling east, passing north of Bermuda, and then south to catch the transatlantic trade winds to Barbados. The Washington brothers' story could have so easily ended when they finally arrived at Barbados. Approaching the island from the east, they arrived 2 days ahead of schedule on the 2nd of November, and under darkness in the early hours of the morning. Had the lookout not been paying attention, they could have easily been wrecked on the coral reefs surrounding the island, which otherwise provided an effective natural defense against American forces. Having avoided disaster, the vessel came around the south of the island to anchor in Carlisle Bay, with Bridgetown situated at its northern end. Carlisle Bay was not only the main harbor for Barbados, but also the mega transshipment port for the region, able to service up to 400 ships at any one time.
In the audio guide here is that they were originally supposed to stay at another location, but somebody in that family had smallpox. So I was like, oh no, our reservation is killed. They had to find something else. They found this place, and they were very unhappy about the price. They thought it was not worth it at all. They were paying 15 British pounds per month, and which is, they're saying it's the equivalent of 3,000 US dollars today. And they said even though Lawrence was very wealthy, he married into money, but they still thought the place was was overpriced. So I guess they would have given it 1 star or 2 star or something like that because they thought it was too expensive. Also says too that Barbados back then was well known as sort of like a medical spa town type place. A lot of people came here to convalesce, so it was sort of an established place. Like, hey, go to Barbados when you're sick. Kitchen area. These are the tunnels. As I said, this was a major military garrison, and established these defensive tunnels down here. Don't know if I want to. It's kind of scary. It's so dark. I don't know how far I want to walk in this thing. Not too far, I don't think. Interesting film. I didn't realize what a formative experience it was for George Washington to be here in Barbados for a few months back in 1751. So first of all, I mean, when he came here, he was like sort of a country bumpkin, a rube from Virginia, and Bridgeport at that time was a major garrison. There was a lot of military presence here, British military presence. So this was sort of a big city compared to what he was used to, which I did not realize that. He went to shows, he sort of socialized, he met people. He also caught smallpox, which turned out to be extremely fortuitous for him. They said back in those days, 20 to 50% of the people who caught smallpox died. So he was fortunate to have survived it, but it also came in handy, more than handy during the Revolutionary War, because there were more soldiers, US soldiers, who died of smallpox than who died in combat, but he had immunity from it because he survived it. Now they said that back then it was a 20 to 50% chance of surviving smallpox, and he was lucky to survive it. And then he may not have survived the Revolutionary War and led our country to victory had he not had the immunity that developed here in Barbados. They also tell us that he met a lot of British military people while he was here, and he sort of first got the idea to join the military or consider a military career while he was here in Barbados, which I did not know before, because he met a lot of generals, and he sort of studied what the military people here were doing. He also studied agriculture, they said, while he was here too. So he was sort of a busy guy. socialized, studied, was learning out things. He was a 19-year-old trying to figure out what to do in life. And Barbados turned out to be a formative experience for him. Very interesting.